All right, let's dive into one of the biggest mysteries out there, consciousness. Forever. The basic idea has been pretty straightforward, right? The brain makes consciousness. Simple. But what if? What if we've had it completely backward this whole time? So let's just start with this question right here. Think about it. Is your brain actually creating your reality from nothing? Like a little universe generator tucked inside your head? Or is it more like a super sophisticated radio, just tuning into a broadcast that's already playing? Because how you answer that, well, that's the key to this whole mind-bending idea we're about to explore. Okay, so the first step here is to basically throw out the old playbook. We've got to reframe the entire problem. It's not about finding a new answer, you see. It's about asking a completely different question. And this is the big shift right here. Look at the two questions. For centuries, science has been banging its head against the wall, trying to answer the one on the left. How does this, 3-pound lump of tissue create everything you've ever felt, seen, or thought? This new theory just flips the script. It asks, okay, what if it doesn't create it? What if it receives it? It seems like a small change in wording, but believe me, the implications are absolutely massive. So that leads us here. If the brain isn't the creator, then what in the world is it? Well, this theory suggests we should think of our bodies, our whole being, as this incredibly sophisticated biocomputer, an interface really, that's just built to experience reality. And here's kind of how that flow would work. Step 1, you've got your senses, your eyes, your ears. They're just input devices, collecting raw data from the world. Then, step 2, your brain acts like a processor. It takes that flood of information and organizes it, gives it context, makes sense of it all. And then finally, step 3, you get the output. That's your subjective reality. So in this model, see, the brain isn't writing the story, it's just rendering it, like a graphics card. This is probably the best way to think about it. Imagine your brain is a high-end gaming console. It's got an amazing processor, right? It can render these incredibly detailed worlds in real time. But here's the thing. The console didn't create the game. It's just running the code that was loaded onto it from somewhere else. And that, of course, brings us to the billion-dollar question, really. If our brain is just the console, just the hardware, where's the software coming from? Where does the game itself, our consciousness, actually originate? Okay, and this is where things get really wild. This is the biggest, most speculative leap in the whole theory. It proposes that the source is something called the quantum cloud, a kind of universal hard drive for all consciousness. So what is the quantum cloud? Well, the idea is that it's this theoretical field where everything, all information, all consciousness, is encoded as quantum data. The really crucial part is that it's all interconnected in a web that exists outside of our normal understanding of space and time. It links everything, everywhere, all at once. Now, I know, that sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's actually inspired by some very real and very weird physics. You've probably heard of quantum entanglement. It's that thing Einstein famously called spooky action at a distance. You can have two particles that are linked, and no matter how far apart they are, even light years, what you do to one instantly affects the other. That's a real thing, and it proves that this kind of deep, non-local connection exists in our universe, which kind of gives a little bit of footing to this whole quantum cloud idea. All right, so let's just go with this for a minute. If we entertain this idea, what does it mean for the biggest question of them all? What happens after we die? Well, the theory proposes this incredible cycle of life, death, and data. So here's how the cycle is supposed to work. As we live our lives, all our experiences are sort of continuously uploaded to this quantum cloud. Then, when we die, our consciousness detaches from our physical body. Our whole life, everything we were, gets stamped into the cloud as a unique DNA print. And that print, that becomes the blueprint for a whole new life, a new incarnation. The big takeaway here is that nothing is ever lost. Every single experience matters. The theory uses this great analogy of a painter. Each life is like a finished masterpiece, and when it's done, you don't burn it, right? You add it to your portfolio, to the gallery. It makes the entire collection richer. So in this view, your life, my life, we're all contributing to this growing collective cosmic wisdom. Okay, so this is obviously a huge, incredible idea, but we need to pump the brakes a little and bring it back down to earth. Let's look at both sides of the coin, the amazing possibilities and the really big scientific challenges. I mean, just think about the implications for a second. If any of this is true, it means that the feeling of being a separate individual is kind of an illusion. We're all connected. It could give us a new way to understand things like near-death experiences. And it means that what you do every day really matters on a cosmic level because you're adding your chapter to this universal story.
But, and this is a huge but, we have to be real about the challenges. The quantum cloud itself, it's completely speculative at this point. There's no proof. We have no idea how a biological upload to a quantum field would even work. And the biggest hurdle of all is that right now, we can't test it. So it's a fascinating idea, a beautiful philosophy, but we have to be clear. It is not science. At least, not yet.
So I'll leave you with this. Whether the quantum cloud is real or not, maybe that's not the most important part. What this theory really does is it challenges us to see ourselves in a new light, not just as biological machines, but maybe as portals. Portals to a reality that's so much bigger and so much more connected than we ever imagined. And that's a pretty powerful thought to sit with.